Welcome back, guys. Um, Today I'm taking a look at the new Manjaro Fluxbox edition. Now, the this was released, I believe, yesterday. It's the 1512, the latest Manjaro 1512 Capella stable branch. I'm using the System D version in 64-bit. Now, I did a release on the Fluxbox Manjaro 1511, I believe, a few months ago, and I liked it, but it was my first exposure to Fluxbox, and there were a few bugs in it that have since been resolved. So while I liked the Fluxbox 1511, I didn't keep it on my computer because I wanted to wait until some of the bugs got ironed out. So this is the 1512, and I must say that Oberon at Manjaro, who handles the Fluxbox edition, he's done a fantastic job. Now, there are a couple of little issues. This is my second attempt at making this video. The first attempt I had to delete because when I had OBS, which is what I'm using OBS Studio to make the video, and the reason is GUVC View keeps crashing. So Oberon, if you're listening, one of the things that you might want to take a look at is GUVC View. I'm not getting any success getting that to run. But it's no big deal because there are other programs available, and I'm using OBS Studio, which is fantastic. Okay, that's number one. Um, Number two is when I was making the video, I went to open up the file manager and the system locked up. So I ended up having to hard reboot. And what I had open at the time was OBS Studio, I had Firefox, and I had Chrome. And then when I went to open up File Manager, it just locked up on me. So I'm going to try it again. And okay, so there is the File Manager, no problem at all. Now let me open up Chrome. Okay, and we'll close that out. And I will try to open up File Manager again, and now it's working fine. So maybe a little buggy, or I'm not really sure what caused that, but right now everything seems to be working fine. Okay, so I want to make sure that I cover everything that I think is relevant, so that you can make a decision as to whether or not you want to use this Fluxbox edition. Now, this is not how it looks when you install it. The wallpaper is different and the icons are different. The theme is different. So let me show you, go through a couple of things on that. Within the file manager, if you go to your home folder, and there is an icons. You see this icons folder? I tried using vertex icons. They're not all displaying properly. And so I'm not using the vertex icons. Now I did go online through Pac-Man. I did go into the terminal through Pac-Man and I installed Fienza icon theme and Fience icon theme, and I'm using, I think it's Fienza right now, but I'll double check that once I get to the theming. So there is an icons folder, .icons, in your home folder already. You have to find it by enabling hidden files. And so there is an icons folder where you can put your icons in if you want to add icons to the system. It comes with a few themes, and it comes with a couple of icons. I'll go through that with you in a second. So there is an icons folder. Now, there is no .themes folder in the home folder. So you can find that by going to User, Share, and then go to your Themes folder. Now that's where you'll find all of the stock themes. I added Numix, and I added Blue Fear. I added Adwaita Graphene, and Vertex Dark and Vertex Theme Master. The rest of them were there, I'll get to the themes in a second. So you do have the ability to customize the look of the distribution. Now, if we right click on the desktop, you'll get the Fluxbox menu. Now this is different. If you haven't used Fluxbox before, it takes a little bit to get used to it. But if we take a look at the menu item by item, you can kind of make sense of what's going on. You have the terminal. Click that and you'll have a terminal window, file manager, root file manager, which is very nice. If you need to, for example, that themes folder in user, share, themes, that can only be modified as root. So if you want to have a root file manager to go in and do that, you have one right here. It makes it a little bit easier to open the file manager as root. So in Internet, I have added Firefox, Google Chrome, ICE, and Steam. Pale Moon came default. Okay. Now in Office, I didn't add anything. It comes with Abbey Word, Numeric, and PDF Viewer. Graphics, I didn't add anything. Image Viewer, Pinta, Simple Scan. Pinta is like a paint program. Multimedia, I added GUVC View, which as I said is not functioning properly. I added OBS. I added OpenShot, Simple Screen Recorder, SM Player, and Voco Screen. It does come with VLC Media Player out of the box. For games, I added Play on Linux and Steam. Now, both of them are functioning fine. Tools, for accessories, I added Caffeine. I added Nihilus N1, which is a mail program, email. I added Redshift, Synapse. There is a root terminal. Screenshot, that's standard. System, I added Gparted. I added pSensor. Settings, I added Adobe Flash Player. NVIDIA, because I installed with the non-free drivers, NVIDIA configured right out of the box. I had to install my Broadcom Wi-Fi drivers. This is the main computer, so it does have Broadcom, and Broadcom configured with no problem at all. You've got print settings, and I added X screensaver. Okay, so that's your settings under tools. For other, those are the developer programs. I did not add anything. For customization, let's take a look at appearance. Okay, right now it says I'm using Vertex Dark. Okay, I added Numix, which is right there. I added Blue Fear Master, which is a very nice dark theme, by the way. If you're looking for a nice dark theme, Blue Fear. And if you go searching for it, it's BLEU, not UE. So it's BLEUFEAR. It's readily available online. And if you're looking for a very nice dark theme, I recommend Blue Fear. Another nice dark theme, which is a little bit more on the dark gray side, is Graphene, Adwaita Graphene. Now, one of the things with if you click apply, it will not take full effect unless you log out and log back in, and that's pretty much standard. Okay, so and as I said, right now I'm actually running Vertex Dark, so I'm going to leave that alone. For color, you cannot see setting color scheme is not available without LX Session as session manager. So it doesn't want you to use the theme generated colors because LX Session is not installed as a session manager. Icon theme, I installed all the Fienza and the Fience, so you can see, and the Vertex. So basically you had Adwaita, Numix Reborn Circle. Okay, so you've got a lot of standard theming configuration options. Mouse cursor, this is as you can see, I'm running the default. This is the series here, and I'm going to leave that just as it is. Hinting is full, and I'm running RGB. Anti-aliasing is enabled. Okay, so that takes care of theming. Now, if we go back to the menu, you can also configure the dock, and this is Plank. And so you can change the configuration just as you would with any distribution. You can IntelliHide, lock the icons, automatic pinning. You can change the positioning from the bottom to the top, to left, to right. I'm going to leave it on the bottom. You can change the icon size. The default, I believe, is like 44, and I brought it down to 34. I'm going to put it at 36. I've got a little bit of icon zoom here, just a little, as you can see. Not a whole lot. So let's go back to the menu. And for notifications, we can preview the notifications. I'm going to go to Smoke and Greenbird. Okay, so I think I'll do Greenbird. And you can change how long it displays. I usually don't like it for more than 30 seconds. So we're going to close that out. And wallpaper. I've got a lot of different wallpapers installed right now, but this is the default right here. I believe that was the default, and so we can leave that up for now. So that's the default wallpaper, but as I said, I changed the icons and the theme, and that's the Vertex Dark theme that I'm running right now, along with the Fienza icons. Okay, so let's go up into the system tray. Normally, I install Synapse, which I have, Caffeine, P-Sensor, Redshift, and Clip It. Everything installed and functioned properly. No issues whatsoever. This is the update. I've already gone through the update on the Update Manager, and so my system is up to date. Okay, so the next topic that I want to cover is ICE. Those of you who use ICE for SSBs, there's a little bit of a wrinkle here in Fluxbox that you just need to be aware of. So if you go into Internet and you click on ICE, as you can see, I have 3 created: Amazon Prime, Netflix, and Hulu. Now, normally, see, I put them in the Internet option, in the Internet menu category. However, if you right click and go to Internet, you will not find them. They are nowhere to be found. Now, I put a question up on the Manjaro forum, and I haven't gotten a reply yet, but I actually found the solution. And let me show you that. If you create SSBs with ICE in Fluxbox, and you select Internet, or whatever menu category you select, you won't find them. Now, when I set them up in Internet, how I found them was, if you click on File Manager and then click on Applications, it has all your categories. That's where you'll find them. Okay, so you have to go to the File Manager and Applications. Then if I click on Internet, as you can see, I've got Hulu, Netflix, and Amazon Prime. Now, Amazon Prime and Netflix run fine on Chrome. However, Hulu does not. And so, if you are a Hulu subscriber and you want to stream video on your computer, I will tell you that Hulu, you will have to use Firefox when you create your SSB in ICE. Okay, so the nice thing about Manjaro is it's got the latest version of ICE, and with that comes the ability to use Firefox, Chromium, or Chrome. Now, as you can see, Chromium is grayed out because I don't have it installed, but I do have Chrome. So if you're going to set up Amazon Prime, use Chrome. If you're going to set up Netflix, use Chrome. If you're going to set up Hulu Plus, use Firefox. The other thing you need to do if you want to stream Hulu is you have to install the HAL package. So what you'll do is you'll go to Yaourt, Y-A-O-U-R-T, and you're going to do -S, and you will do HAL, and I believe that will install everything you need. There are 3 programs, HAL, HAL-info, and HAL-flash. I believe you only need HAL. But if you bring up HAL without the -S, it'll bring up a list of programs. And if we scroll back, you can see, starting at number 21, you've got HAL, HAL-flash, and HAL-info. See that? So HAL-flash is installed and HAL-info. So it looks like you are better off doing HAL-flash and HAL-info, as I have. That way you'll be sure that your Hulu will function. Now, if I go into, well, I'm going to close out Firefox, and let's right click. Well, let's go to File Manager, in Applications and Internet, and let's double click Hulu. It's going to open up Mozilla Firefox, and if I click Watch Now, as you can see, it does play. Now this will not play in, and I'm going to close this out now. This will not play in Chrome. It will only play in Hulu. Now if I click on Netflix, I have my ICE, multiple Netflix tabs. Okay, so I'm going to close that out, and it looks like I already have Netflix here. Okay, so I already had it open. As you can see, it plays fine. I'm going to close that out, and I also have Amazon, and as you can see, Amazon Prime works. So if I close out Chrome completely and I double click Netflix, it'll play because it's the only version or the only Chrome I have open. And Netflix, as you can see, it's playing fine. Okay, so Netflix works fine, Hulu works fine, and Amazon Prime works fine. Just remember the instructions I gave you when you're setting up ICE. Okay, so let's see what else we have on the list. I covered themes and icons, Amazon Prime, Netflix, Hulu, the system tray, ICE. GUVC View, I mentioned there's an issue there. Okay, so let's take a look at Steam. I installed Steam. I've got it set up for my account. And as you can see, I have no issues. It works fine. So one of the things with Steam, it pulls in everything that you need. I don't think you'll need to do anything unusual. If you just put sudo pacman -s Steam, I believe it'll pull in everything that you need. The other thing that I usually use on my Linux installation, or at least I don't use it that often, but I always want to make sure that it works, and that is Battlenet. Now, I have it under Play on Linux. Let's see, and I thought I had that icon, but I don't. So let's go to Games, open Play on Linux, and as you can see, I've already installed Hearthstone. That's a Battlenet game. If I wanted to play StarCraft, I could, or World of Warcraft. They would all function fine. But let's see. That should open without an issue. And it's going to reopen. And if I click play, it will bring up another window, and hopefully you're seeing this okay. And as you can see, it runs fine. Okay, so I'm going to close that out, and I'll close that out. So another big plus is that Steam and Play on Linux both function fine. Now you do have to install Wine, so make sure you install Wine before you install your Steam and your Play on Linux. Okay, especially Play on Linux. Play on Linux looks to check to see if you have Wine installed, and you really need to have Wine installed. Okay, so when you add a program to your Fluxbox install, it doesn't add it to the menu right away. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a an item. Let's see what can let's add. I don't think I have Banshee installed. Let me double check in multimedia. Okay, I don't have Banshee installed. So I'm going to go through and install Banshee. Then I will show you how to make sure that it's added to your menu. Okay, so Banshee is installed. If I right click and go to multimedia, you will see Banshee is not there. Okay? Every time you add something to your install, you need to regenerate your menu. So you want to go to Fluxbox Settings and then Regenerate Menu. Okay, so I just clicked on that. And now let's take a look at multimedia, and there's Banshee. Okay, guys? So you want to go to Fluxbox Settings, regenerate the menu, and then when you do that, all of your programs installed up to that point will be visible. Now, if you look at, we went through customization. If you look at Fluxbox Settings, there are a ton of configuration options that I'm not going to get into, especially the behavior. So what you'll want to do is if you decide to install Fluxbox, I recommend that you go to the Fluxbox, I think it's fluxbox.org, and I think there's a wiki where you can go through all of these options to understand what they mean. And some of these I am not clear on because I haven't put the time in to learning them. So they're just not something that I really need to do at this point. So I would take a look at the, especially the slit. So you've got all kinds of options here for configuration, and if you're going to get serious about Fluxbox, I would recommend that you take a look at all of these options, read through the instructions, get to know Fluxbox inside out. I've only scratched the surface with you, so you can make a decision on whether you want to try a distribution like this. So everything functions properly. I really like it, and I'm going to leave it on my system, and I'm going to use it full time for the next week or so. If I come across anything that you guys should know, I will do an update video. But other than that, as you can see, it's if you right click the desktop, everything is pretty much there. And as I said, just make sure you keep regenerating that menu as you add items. Okay, so that is it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. This is the Manjaro 15.12 Fluxbox edition, and kudos and thanks to Oberon and his crew for putting together such a nice package. So guys, please rate, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you soon. Take care.